Hi boys and girls, today we're going to begin sewing our pillow project. So I'm going to be following along with the pillow project directions which you have received in class. So we're going to go through every step. First, you're going to choose the colors for the front and the back of your pillow. I'm choosing to use purple and gold because I want a ice slip inspired pillow. Okay, so I'm going to have purple as the front of my pillow and I'm going to use the gold for my back. Next, you're going to design the front of your pillow using tracing paper. I have chosen to use letters, which I have plenty of patterns for you to use and choose from. And I'm also going to include this volleyball on the front of my pillow. I'm going to take tracing paper to trace every letter that I plan on using for my pillow. So I'm going to take my pattern and place the tracing paper on top of the pattern. I'm going to write IMS on my pillow. So I'm going to trace out my I, using a pencil. So here's my I. Next, I'm going to trace out my M. Okay, you want to leave some space between each letter. There's my M. And lastly, I'm going to trace out the letter S. And again, notice that I'm leaving space in between each letter. Okay, so here is my pattern. At this point, once your letters are traced, you're going to begin cutting out each letter from the tracing paper. What I like to do is to cut around each letter like a box. Cutting all the way around. And I'm going to cut a box around each letter. Okay, so notice there's excess paper. Okay, and that's going to be very important once we start pinning these letters down to the felt. Okay, so I have all my letters cut. Now I'm going to start to pin them down onto the color felt I want my letters. I chose white for each letter. So I'm going to pin down my I. You take a straight pin and you want to go through the pattern, through the felt, and then bring the point back up and through so it holds onto the felt. So that's one. I'm going to move that over. I'm going to pin down my M. Same thing. I'm going to go through the paper, through the felt, and I'm going to bring the point back up so it holds. Do that again. Through the paper, through the felt. And my last letter, S. Leave a space. Go through the paper. Go through the felt, bring the point back up and through. Okay, I'm going to put one more pin in so it's nice and sturdy. And now I'm ready to begin cutting out my letters. Now I'm going to start to cut out each letter. I'm going to open up my scissor blade nice and wide as I cut. And now I'm going to start to cut along the black line, okay, for each letter. And take my scissor. I'm going to pull the felt using my opposite hand. Pull the felt into the scissor blade so it gives more control. Okay, and I want you to notice that I'm cutting around the letter. Okay, so there's the I. And once I cut around the letter, next I'm going to start to trim it down. But I'm still cutting on the line. Okay, I'm going to finish trimming out my I. You should take your time when you cut. And once you have cut out the letter, you can remove the pin, remove the tracing paper, and here we have our first letter cut. I'm going to do the same thing for my M and my S. Again, here are our letters all cut out. I'm going to put these letters aside, and now I'm going to start to work on the rest of the pillow design. So like I said earlier, I wanted to use this volleyball with the flames coming out. So if you print out a logo from home or a picture from home, you can cut the picture as it is. If you decide to borrow one of my patterns, okay, like this letter pattern, you would trace out what you need on tracing paper. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the flames separately from the ball. Notice I'm cutting around the picture, not directly on the line. Okay. The flames are orange and the ball is white. So you're going to take scrap felt and you're going to pin down each piece onto scrap. Okay? If you can't find a color of your choice, then you can use a brand new sheet of felt, but I would prefer you look for scrap first, and then if you don't find it, you can use a brand new piece of felt. Okay, so I'm pinning down the flame onto orange, and I'm going to pin down the ball on white. And notice I'm pinning along the edges of the felt. So once I cut, the rest of the felt can still be used by another classmate. And now I'm going to start to cut along the lines. And now I'm going to cut on the line for the flame. Here I have the ball and the flame, and they're both cut out. So once you've cut out your pattern, you can remove the pins and now we have the shape. Okay, so right now I have my IMS, the beginning of the volleyball, and the flame. At this point, when everything is cut, you can start to pin each piece onto the front of your pillow. So I would like my IMS, to be right on the top here. Top of my pillow, I'm going to have the ball and flame right below. Once I've decided where each piece will be, I'm going to start to take a straight pin and pin each piece down. So just like before, you're going to take the straight pin, put it through the felt, bring that point, zoom in so you can see, bring the point back up and through so it holds. Next, I'm going to put a couple of pins down. Next, I'm going to pin down the flame where I want it to go. Okay, take the pin, go through the point, bring it back up. I'm going to continue to pin the rest of the flame and each of the letters down. You'll see what that looks like.